coming up short, fucking with Too Short. Too short, bitch. Coming up short. Too short, too short. Bitches keep coming up short.
Hey, what's up, guys? So I wanted to do a clip on the bare essentials for what you need to enter your first powerlifting meet, and then on top of that I want to add on a couple I guess ergogenic aids that you can use to help you lift more if you're allowed to use that. Keep in mind, I am an IPF competitor, so that's all, and that's the only federation I've competed in, so it's going to be different for other associations or federations that you're in. So let's get started. First thing you need, membership card. This is something that you absolutely have to have in order to compete. You can usually get this in a yearly or bi-yearly format. If you're a first-time lifter, they'll usually give you a discounted price on it, but you have to have this in order to compete. Boxer briefs. This is going to sound kind of silly, but it is an absolute necessity. As far as I know, you can't go commando. Maybe you can, in which case it isn't a necessity, but I don't like going commando, so I wear boxer briefs. These are actually briefs. You have to make sure that the length doesn't go below the bottom of your singlet. So regular boxer briefs that are kind of longer usually won't suffice. You have to have something a little bit shorter. Also, it can't have too much compression. So, you know, those kind of really nice Under Armour boxer briefs that kind of are compression as well and have a little bit more tight feel to them, those won't be allowed to be used. Alright, up next we got your t-shirt. You have to have a specific t-shirt that has basically no logo and no writing on them. My very first meet, I showed up with a t-shirt that had a bunch of different writing on it that was completely unrelated to the BC Powerlifting Association and powerlifting in general, and they told me that I couldn't wear it. So I had to turn it inside out, and it was kind of lame. So after that, I always ended up bringing a plain t-shirt with me, which is the one I have on the left there, which you can't really see too well, but that's a plain t-shirt. And then usually a lot of the meets will end up giving you a t-shirt, so it doesn't end up being too much of a problem. You can just wear the t-shirt that they give you. On top of that, you can wear t-shirts that are sponsors of your association federation. So for me, Inzer or Metal, I think there's another one too, but I always forget the name of it. I can wear a t-shirt like that. Otherwise, it has to be something plain with no logo and no writing on it. It can be a crazy color, whatever you want it to be. Next up is a singlet. You have to have a singlet to compete in every single meet that I've ever seen. So there might be some sort of crazy backyard meet that doesn't require it, but you'll need one. So for me, I'm allowed to wear Inzer and Metal and plain. So I have this Inzer one that I like. It's very straightforward. You have to get one, follow the sizing charts, or try one on. Again, it can't have any kind of cool writing or branding on it other than the one that sponsors your association. So make sure that you check the regulation of your association federation to make sure that the brand or color or whatever of your singlet meets the regulations and guidelines. Socks are something you absolutely have to have. The reason for socks is so that you do not scrape the shit out of your shins and give everyone Ebola. No, but for real, you need lifting socks. They have to be, I think they have to be, I don't know what the minimum height is, but I know the maximum is that they can't touch your knees. So they can't be like crazy high soccer socks that go above your kneecaps. They have to be below that. You have to wear these for deadlifting. As for squatting and benching, most people just put them down all the way to their ankles and lift like that. But you need to have lifting socks that cover your shins for deadlifting in order to compete in a full powerlifting meet. For the benching only, I have no idea because I've never entered one, but I highly doubt you would have to have socks that go up as high. But you might need to have socks that don't have any type of logo on them. So make sure you check the rules out before you enter your meet. Shoes. So I am showing you my Adidas Addy Powers and my Converse Chuck Taylors. I wear my Addy Powers for benching and squatting, and I wear my Chuck Taylors for deadlifting. you do not have to have these shoes. You can have any type of shoe you want. I've seen people wearing shoes that a homeless person wouldn't wear, and they lifted a lot more than I can. So shoes, they matter. You have to make sure for any type of shoe you wear that has a heel lift, that the heel lift doesn't exceed the regulations of your association or federation. So you'll have to look. I believe for the most part that the mainstream brands like Adidas, Nike, and Reebok all their shoes will meet the regulations of the majority of governing bodies. But you'll want to make sure that you don't have a crazy heel lift, because I don't think they'll allow you. They won't allow you to use those. But again, you don't have to have any type of specific footwear. I'll make sure you have footwear that you're used to. Don't go breaking in some new shoes for your meet just because you want things to be as controlled as possible and you want to do things that you're used to doing. So I've completed all the absolute essentials, and now we're going to go into the optional pieces of gear and items that can help you either lift more or make you feel more safe, etc. So the first one that basically everyone uses is a belt. So you'll want to make sure that your association allows the length and the thickness of the belt. So by thickness, obviously, I mean how thick it can be, and by length, I mean how long it can be. For me, I believe it's 13 millimeter width, and I have no idea what the length is, but I've worn this a bunch of times, so I know it's okay. You'll want to make sure that whatever kind of clasp you have as well is allowed. I believe most of them allow the main type of clasp, which usually are the single clasp, the double clasp, which is this one, and the lever. So make sure that your belt passes the guidelines of your association or federation. Next up are wrist wraps. So these are Elite FTS 60 centimeter wrist wraps, and my very first meet, actually, I brought these and I couldn't use them specifically because of the brand. I believe 60 centimeters is the cutoff point for the length, but to tell you the truth, I can't even remember because I never use wrist wraps. Some people use them because I believe they get either forearm or wrist pain. As far as helping you lift more weight, it's just not really going to do that for you. But then again, I'm weak as shit and I don't wear them, and every single person who benches a crap load of weight uses them. So, if you really want to get a pair and see how you like them and see if they make you feel more secure when you bench. Obviously, like I was saying, you have to make sure that you get the brand and the length correct. So for me, I have to use Inzer ones or metal ones, I believe, and I don't care enough to buy them, so I don't buy them. And yeah, but I'm just showing you these because a lot of people use wrist wraps. Ice. This is something I end up using at every single meet that I've ever been. I usually get pretty big back cramps after squatting, so for my benching portion, I always basically end up putting this on. I think out of all the meets I've had to put this on every single time because I've gotten a back spasm. So some people don't get them at all. I think I've gotten a back spasm once in training, and yet I get it at every single one of my meets. And it's because you're going 100% at your meets. You're not holding anything back. I'm arching super, super hard. So I usually end up using this every single time. Again, it doesn't have to be Alita. You just want to make sure that it's something that has the menthol, or menthol as they have it in here. So stuff like Bengay, perfectly fine. But yeah, just get something and get someone to rub it on you. If you get back spasms, I find it really helpful. Again, it's just a band-aid. It's not going to help the pain go away or necessarily change anything, but for the time being, it usually works very, very well. Knee wraps. These I have never actually used because I cannot use knee wraps in the raw division in my federation, so I never use them. These are very similar to the wrist wraps in terms of the fact that they can't exceed a specific length and they have to be a specific brand. For me, they have to be Inzer or metal or something else, not entirely sure. But these are very, very good if you can use them. Obviously, they will allow you to use more weight. A lot of people like to bitch and moan about the fact that using wrist wraps is or isn't actually raw, whatever. I don't give a shit. I don't use them. I don't have to use them. You know, if people use them and lift more weight, then all power to them. That's cool. I have no problem with it. So you will want to check your federation to make sure if you are in the raw category that you can or cannot use them. If you go in without using them and you're going against people who are using them, you're probably going to lose. So just keep that in mind. And finally, the thing I see a lot of people using these days are knee sleeves. These are something I don't use because I don't have any need to. My knees are perfectly fine. I basically never ever get any kind of knee pain. And from all the research I've done, which is a lot, to see if it could actually help me lift any more weight for squats, it doesn't. So, you know, if you have knee problems or feel like you want some more warmth in your knees, then by all means use them. I don't personally want to use them, so I don't. With the knee sleeves, you have to again make sure that they're the proper brand as well as the proper length. They can't be too far down, too far up your knee when you're using them, and they have to be a certain brand. So for me, I believe it's Ray-Ban and SBD. Those tend to be the most popular ones that you pretty much see everyone using these days. Thanks for checking in. If you like this video, please hit that like button. Really appreciate it. If you know anyone who is going to be entering a first meet, or you're entering a first meet, or you want to share it with someone who's entering their first meet and thinks this is going to be a good resource for them, then feel free to share it with them. Really appreciate that. If you like listening to me babble on about lifting and powerlifting and food and all that kind of shit, then hit the subscribe button. We've got a lot more stuff coming your way. I look forward to talking to you again soon. Peace.